Know what that music means? When you hear the future pop, that means what it means is that it's ThursdAGE. ThursdAGE is a program that comes to you every Thursday. Right here, look at all these people who are hanging out with us.
It's good to see everybody.
It's funny, David Bullock, we all laughed, but somebody may have cursed your name in jest, in fun. Temps here, going to get some questions answered, hopefully. Not today. No, I'm sure. Absolutely. Hydra, where is Papa and Mama Ronin? That's so great. Troy, use your technical support stunts. Sometimes you gotta move the lights just right. You had to go get a little bit of tea. I'm bouncing back from a cold. A little what happens in Reno came right back with me. And here we are. Hey, Brian F. Irving says, good evening. I blame Von Snoot. David's got some inside information here. Some inside details about our special guests. What we're going to do first is we're going to extinguish the future pop, the dreaded. I don't know. Why do I keep torturing me and the guests? Hello, you two.
It's not
Hi.
rock, Troy.
Yeah, exactly. First of all, thank you for coming and hanging out with us. This is the first time we've had you two together. Nicole, we started the whole streaming engagement thing right around the sort of outset of the pandemic, and you pop on for our celebration streams and that kind of stuff. But we haven't done an official ThursdAGE, either for some time or ever. Have we done a ThursdAGE?
Not the two of us.
Yeah, see how it goes. I'm really excited about it. Blue Nova says, I'm slightly late. Have I missed anything? Blue Nova, we knew you were running late, and so we decided to wait a bit to kick things off. So really, you're starting at the perfect time, which is right now. Yeah, that's what we do. That's just the kind of thing that we offer our ThursdAgents. Someone sent me a note the other day and said, hey, when you say ThursdAgents, it sounds like your thing's thirst agents. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Too.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's a bad thing. Hey, dude, good to see you. David says, so long as my shins are safe from a good kick, yeah, I wouldn't say, yeah, I don't know. I mean, your mileage may vary, but look who we've got here. So we have Chris Pramas, Nicole Lindroos, and look at I love this electric name plate stuff that goes on. That's it's very intense.
You did very good job there.
Thank you. Very intense, very, hey, Blue Nova, yeah, Kior. Let me see if I'll try it again. Kior Blue Navy. Is that right? Is that that's the New Zealand accent, isn't it?
Totally. You should be on Brokenwood with that accent.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to keep trying. I'm going to Blue Nova, like digging their ears out. But here's the thing. We have last month, it was a confluence of awesomeness. It was just a consistent flow of great news, greater news, more fun news. And we had the Gamma trade show that we went to. That was gangbusters, a blast. We had, of course, all the product announcements. We also have it's just a really awesome time to be a Ronin. Yeah.
It is.
Absolutely.
I love being a Ronin.
Better than
me too.
That's for sure.
Right. Yeah. And I know that we have said this in the past, like, it's not like we said, aha, there's a break in the armor. Let's strike with all great news. It was just been a lot of great work and a lot of great connections and sort of building up to the momentum. And then it all lined up just perfectly. Let's see. David Bullock says, plus Bloodywood is playing Seattle right now. Okay, cool.
I could have gotten tickets, but I decided to pass.
No, is this a Nice Island band?
Let's talk about Phage.
Well, yeah, let's do that. I will work internally on my. I'll have an internal New Zealand dialogue going. So first of all,
New Zealand, okay.
love, only love. You mimic who you love. Chris, input is a little low. Yeah, Chris, let's turn you up a bit on your end. Nice, Gerbo.
Yeah, his Because I'm working with technology faces on.
Right.
Just deciding the best course. How is that?
Alexander
Hi,
says, hello,
Alex.
everybody.
Is that
Good to
better?
see you, friend. It might be a little, how about I'm going to do this? Would you talk into the mic for me real quick?
Sure. Man, it's great to talk about age games and stuff.
End of show. No, that's, how does that, am I quiet as well? Gearbo? As in me, Troy? Testing this. We'll wait until folks hear us.
Oh, boy.
I know it's fun. And yeah, Rain says, I agree, Chris. I'm good. Okay, great. Chris, let's give you a couple moments to say a thing.
Okay. Man, I love miniatures games.
Boy, he does. He sure does.
A little quieter, and Chris is very quiet.
I can stick my mic closer.
Yeah, that sounds better to me. Great.
Just don't want you to get all my
question.
exhales.
I am moving my
Nicole
mic
is better.
right
Okay.
underneath my mouth. Is that better?
Do you see on your mic you've got some options for gain?
I do.
Let's give it a little bump up.
Okay.
A little twist to the right.
Is that any better?
It might be. Keep on.
Well, you see, now I lowered the gain before the show because of that.
You
other
did. Yeah. Let's have you.
Okay.
Thank you, Blue Nova.
Yes. Test.
It feels good. We'll party on, and I bumped you up on this side as well.
I'm just going to say I was set pretty low because as we get talking, for sure, I am going to cackle and blow someone's ear out otherwise. That's just how I am.
That's just how we do.
It's safer this way, trust me.
No change on Chris's end.
Well, I bumped the gain up, and I
talk like that, but look up.
Yeah, talk like yeah. So let's get that. So they're also on your microphone. You might want to try. Let's try a different setting, like one of the. You'll see a setting that has sort of little spikes coming out of both sides.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's try that.
Oh, it turned my microphone purple.
Oh, that's nicer.
Yeah. How does this? Okay, keep talking.
Okay. Well, I hope we stop technical difficulties so we can talk about stuff.
Yeah, now you're good.
There we go. Nice.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, well, so here we go. We'll start from the top. No, I'm kidding. Like I was saying, we have got exactly. It's like behind the but in it, right? Says Stan. Stan, good to see you as well. Our friend Stan. Stan, are you doing your May the 4th be with you Star Wars draw-a-thon? Let us know if you are, and if you are. I know we've shared it on Mutants Masterminds Monday because you're such a good friend of the show and such a talented artist and a fun fellow to hang out with that I want to make sure people knew it was cooking.
All of the above.
Fun fact, Stan was my boss for a little while at Wizards of the Coast 26 years.
I see.
But he's not one of those usual.
No. Stan's a good fellow.
Absolutely.
I'm going to try real hard not to curse, but
yeah, I think it depends. I was going to say, dropping a little shit or damn but then I realize, we've
you're
had
talking to me.
That's right. So here's what we're going to do first. So there are many people who are in this chat. They know who you are. I mean, industry luminaries. But there may be folks who don't know, or we may want to when people watch this on demand, they might go, oh, hey, cool. Who are these new folks? And we do have a lot of new people who are coming and seeing what age games are all about. So let's begin. Chris, why don't you talk a little bit about yourself, what you do, and then perform your favorite interpretive dance.
He's strictly pogo. He's strictly pogo.
Our
first dance at our wedding was pogo. Come on, strictly pogo.
Yes.
That's sweet.
To the shock of my relatives.
Yeah, the elderly Greek relatives were impressed, and the
Yeah.
DJ was like, "Thank you for that interesting first dance."
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm Chris Pramas. I've been gaming since 1979. I was 10 years old. And, in the 80s, I dreamed of doing this sort of thing for a living. And then in the 90s, I started to do freelance writing. I started a previous company that failed, but then this one went better. And I also worked at Wizards of the Coast for 4 years, like 98 to 2002. And while I was there, I started Green Ronin as a side project. So then, after the Hasbro acquisition, when I got laid off, I just started to do this all the time. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so no, couple fun facts. You were kind of a in the punk rock scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. You were in it.
I was in it in
Yeah.
Boston and then New York and now here.
Nice, very nice. And so, and you were in a punk rock band.
I was in 2 punk rock bands. Yeah.
There you go. I mean, you were so punk rock that you even survived a being sort of stabbed.
It was my neck that got slashed. That didn't have anything to do with punk rock. That was just random Brooklyn violence. But
It sounds pretty punk rock to me.
it did give me a cool neck scar. So
That's pretty punk rock.
That's
Yeah.
pretty punk rock. Absolutely. Nice. Okay, great. And so you also did some time. You did a short internment, or maybe actually a long one in video games.
Yes. Well, Troy, as you know, that's
Yeah.
where we met. We were both working at Flying Lab Software for a few years, 2008-ish? Or maybe it ended in 2008. And
Did it ever
then
really end? Yeah.
I spent 10 months down in Austin as a writer on a Warhammer 40K MMO that never happened. The company, it was a studio of THQ, and THQ went tits up. So that game never came out. And after that, I said, you know what? I don't really like working in video games. I'm just going to stick to tabletop. So.
Right.
We can work on stuff that never comes out in our own time.
That's right. And it's analog. Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's great. And so Green Ronin celebrates its 24th. Are we 24th?
23rd right now. We started in 2000.
Gotcha. Excellent, Jonesy. Good to see you. Let's see here. And so, Nicole.
Yes, sir.
I tell this story to people, and I'm probably getting it wrong, but let's rewrite the history if I am.
All right.
Have you always, forever, since like at birth, worked in the TTRPG industry?
Yes. How did you know?
Yeah. See. Yeah. I thought that's what I'd heard.
I was birthed right onto the table with the mystery miniatures.
That's right. You just came out, rolled a d20, posed,
right,
and you're like
right in the middle of a civilization game.
I mean, I was kind of a baby when I started. I got in straight out of high school when I was 18, and by the time I celebrated my 21st birthday in Georgia at White Wolf, doing a startup thing. I think the kids would call it today, but we just called it we don't know what we're doing. We're all 22, and holy crap! But it worked out for some people. So I never got out of the industry after that.
Very interesting. And then tell us just a little bit about kind of what you do at Green Ronin.
I am the operations officer, COO. So I handle a small team of people who do the background stuff like customer service and logistics and convention support and
Communications.
website, of course, communications. VTT is under ops, kind of partially under ops. Hi, Jonesy. Yeah, I take care of all the stuff that's not writing, drawing, or laying out books anymore. Although I've done all of those things.
I was going to say, having done all of those things, but in addition, you catch all of the things that kind of fall in the cracks. Like you're kind of there to say, hey, what about this and what about that, and also you have a mean mom voice.
Did you do your homework? Has that assignment been turned in? I don't
That's
think you
it.
get to go to a convention, young man.
That's exactly right. Yeah, yeah. And then you also have this talent of doing the mom voice from the chat. I can hear it. I just hear it in my ears. It's a talent. It's a skill. So yeah, so that's great. So that's a bit about you two, and I think that'll be fun, and we'll do some snippets and make sure we share that through our our little shorts and things that we do.
Right?
But so let's talk about all the things that happened last month. It really was confined to thereabouts a month, but we can even go as far back as sort of our Dragon Age announcement to kind of march forward. Yeah, sound good?
Yep.
Sure.
Okay. So exciting news about the Dragon Age stuff. Do we have any details or information we want to kind of get into and sort of share about that, or just sort of say we're kind of
Well, I
steaming?
mean, we're reprinting the core book, and it's been out of print for a while.
Yeah.
Hoping to have it back around August. So that's the news.
As a giant Dragon Age fan myself, I
Yeah.
couldn't be more pleased. We were just at the Gamma Trade Show, and I was talking with a retailer who was excited about Dragon Age and wanting to know if it was coming back in print. And then we goobed out, and my partners were standing there laughing at me because
With love.
I
With
was a
love.
huge nerd for Dragon Age stuff.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm super excited to get it back in print.
Well, that's one of the things I love about what we do is that we really do love the stuff we do. It's we play the games, we enjoy the games, we can speak about them, and okay. So Alex, wherever Alex is, he manages to sneak in and say, "I'm young."
I'm a baby.
Let's see. Oh, I know. David Bullock mentions an insanely expensive second market. Ugh, just can't wait to
I
see
know.
all of that just vanish. It's just
Mhm.
painful. Yeah, lots of people are very excited about that. We've got our presence on TikTok, and people are super excited about it. And we're saying, hey, I picked up a Dragon Age over at the like a not a secondhand bookstore, but a sort of boutique bookstore. I was like, oh gosh, if only we could have gotten here sooner. But they're stoked that it's happening, and so are a lot of other people. And yeah, that's good news. Okay, so then what was next on the docket?
Into the Motherlands.
Yeah, that is really exciting news. So talk
Mhm.
about that whole process and project.
Oh, okay. So Into the Motherlands, Afrofuturist role-playing game that was a Kickstarter project, I think about 3 years ago. It did really well, and it's the team there was led by Tanya DePass and B. Dave Walters. We've known Tanya for many, many years. She worked on our forthcoming fifth season role playing game. And basically, they've had a lot of their plans change over the years. They had a publisher, but then the publisher decided to get out of role playing games. So they once again were looking for a publisher. So we decided to pick it up. It's their project. Like they're doing all the writing and the layout, and they own it. Like our role is just to sell it,
Yep.
help get it into channels that it wouldn't otherwise get in, and just generally be support.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
A great team, and this is over at motherlandsrpg.com. You can jump over
Mhm.
there and kind of get a sense of the folks that many of you will know, and I see some folks in chat are supporters of the Kickstarter, which is great. Just a blockbuster team.
Yep.
Very, very exciting. And so when you're saying, like, so we're going to support publishing it and be sort of publishing partners and pals,
Yep.
and we'll provide more detail and stuff via updates to the Kickstarter and through socials and that kind of stuff
Yeah,
through the coming
literally
months.
just inked that deal. So it's been what, a week?
A couple
Maybe
weeks, but
two.
yeah,
I do want to add
Yeah.
my voice to the folks saying Rain, why aren't you? You need to do your podcast again, friend. I miss it, and it was very enjoyable, and would love to hear it again. No pressure, no pressure. Do your thing. But would definitely love to just hear your thoughts on age as we kind of move forward. Now, other things you want to. What's next on our discussion? We've got, of course, fifth season. We've probably talked about that.
We also last week at Gamma Expo we announced our deal with Valiant Comics, so we're going to be doing a Valiant Comics game with the Mutants and Masterminds rules. So it's all cross-compatible with all your Mutants and Masterminds stuff. So
I mean, not really age appropriate, but okay.
Yeah.
But it fits, I think. I mean,
yeah.
Part of
if
our
we're talking about what we do, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, not just that, but also like good things happening to the sibling, sort of lines. Buoys the whole org. For sure. I'm going to hang on one second. There was a question up here that I want to grab. It seems like the perfect time to ask it. Temp asks, when it comes to Chris, which particular age RPG is your favorite? Is it Blue Rose, Dragon Age, Lazarus, The Expanse, or something else?
Well, it's Fantasy Age because that feels the most my baby. Although second edition, I had a lot of help with Malcolm and Steve and other people as well, and Ian, who came in and finished the development. But like Dragon Age was awesome. That was the start of the system, and then Fantasy Age was our opportunity to do that Titan's Grave show with Will Wheaton. So I was like writing the rule book and coming up with the adventures or developing the adventures that were going to be played on the show. And that whole period is like a blur.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's the one that feels most personal to me.
How about you, Nicole?
I am, of course, Dragon Age is my intro favorite. Your first love, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a fan of Blue Rose because I, championed the whole Kickstarter for the conversion to age, and so I saw it through its process as project manager. So that made me I'm extra fond of it.
Yeah.
And honestly, I really like I like modern age because I want to do stuff like play a Rockford Files, inspired game, or let me have. I want to recreate all the TV shows of my youth.
Nicole, me too. I keep thinking Charlie's Angels.
Bionic Man.
Oh my gosh.
And woman and their bionic
and
dog.
The dog. The dog.
Let's play a couple weeks of that. That's like some potato chip action that I really
Wow,
like.
you really got my mind thinking. I mean, the bionic, what was it? Was it the $1 million man, $10 million man? It was a really cheap man.
Yeah, he was $10 million.
Yeah.
$5 million. Nothing today.
No, yeah.
Cup of coffee, man.
Was it a
10,000?
the $50 man?
Yeah.
I just remember as a child thinking, wow, that's a lot. That's a very expensive man. $6 million. Thank you, Stan.
I knew I could count on somebody.
Yeah.
10
invariably.
seems too big.
Yeah, 10 seems too big. $6 million is that's what you get. Yeah.
We can rebuild him.
We have the technology.
I had the action figure, but it was really the size of a Barbie. And you would peel its skin away to show like
yeah.
Yeah, and he had the robot eye and everything.
Yeah. Oh, those were terrible toys.
They were just awful. But what's interesting too? I just love moments like this. Where Hydrara mentions Fantasy Age is what got me into TTRPGs. That Titan's Grave show was my first RPG show I even ever saw. I love that.
Yeah,
that's what it was for. I mean, we really wanted it to be like a teaching show and really, accessible and still tell a story. I was so proud of that work. That
absolutely,
the
production, the cast, yeah, and it resonates still. I mean, there's still
ahead of its time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the other thing too, just given how long Green Ronin has been around, we are as a company as old as Alex's sister. So, but it's just
All
really
right.
the
I
number.
babysat Alex's sister back in my freelance days.
But the idea that there are so many people who have grown up with Green Ronin products or Green Ronin, adventures as their sort of nascent experience in TTRPG stuff is really sweet. I just really
Yeah.
like that a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Even the
Uh,
original Dragon Age, the way that we did it was we released this box set one.
Hmm.
It was two 64-page books, one for players, one for game masters, poster map, and 3 dice. And the whole notion there was to take video game fans of Dragon Age and show them what's cool about tabletop. And I meet people at conventions all the time who tell me that that was their first role playing game, and it's one of those. It's great to hear that your
Yeah.
it
intention
really
was realized in the actual world. So
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. And people who have that experience, TTRPGs are in their blood. Like they're here for it. There's a couple questions, but I wanted to ask this real quick. Thinking about the adventure game engine and its kind of beginnings as the Dragon Age engine, right?
yeah.
Um, I, Chris, you had mentioned something on a stream once, and I've been meaning to ask you this off stream. So why not do it on stream? Because it'll be weird if I'm wrong and amazing if I'm right. But we talked about an early game that you developed a system, and you kind of just sort of offhandedly said, "Oh yeah, it was kind of like Age,"
Do you
and
mean
I'm
Dragon Fist?
Dragon Fist
Dragon
stunt mechanic.
Fist.
Oh
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, and so
That's the first time he used a stunt mechanic, and I loved it then, and I love it now. I'm just gonna
yeah.
say.
yeah, and so I mean, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And my question then is, so is that really where it began? Like, what came before Dragon Fist to inspire that? And I'm just trying to take it all the way back to its
Yeah.
roots.
Okay, so this was a thing I did at Wizards, and so when I came to work there, it was 1998, and they were working on third edition, but that wasn't going to come out for 2 years, and so they wanted a product that basically was something that people could do in between second and third edition, kind of like something you might play for a summer. Um, and that was kind of the brief. And because I'm a huge fan of Hong Kong martial arts movies,
Yeah.
I pitched a second edition AD&D variant, inspired by all that stuff, and that was Dragon Fists. But as a as a thing, it had a troubled history because I finished writing it and then it got canceled out from under me. And then I spent a month or more lobbying for it to not be canceled because I did all that work on it. And it was put back on the schedule for 2 weeks and then it was canceled again. So,
Ay, ay, ay.
but being a punk rocker with my DIY
DIY.
attitude, yep,
Yep.
I set about getting it published on my own. So I went,
It through Wizards.
yeah,
Like
through Wizards, yeah,
just by force of will and strengthening relationships within the company, he was doing that, not like running out and Kinko copying it or anything.
Right. Or taking over the presses at night
Right.
while the
I
yeah,
mean,
wizards
that is
slept.
also could be like a punk rock thing you did, but not this
Yeah.
time.
yeah. So so the my hero here is Sue Wineland, who was running the web team at the time, and I went to her and asked if they were interested in some content for the website, like say a whole game, and she enthusiastically agreed to that. And then people who were my play testers internally volunteered to do like layout and art and things like that. I negotiated with the Magic the Gathering team because they had done a Romance of the Three Kingdoms magic set aimed at the Chinese market, although they did a limited English run. And so I was able to get some of that art to use in this.
Wow, this is awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, it was released on the website. It was nominated for an Origins Award. And
Boy, did that piss somebody off.
yeah.
We don't need to talk about that.
Gotcha. Well, it's good to know at least that somebody was pissed off because
Yeah.
they deserve to be
Yeah.
a little pissed
Yeah.
off.
So Sue is absolutely just a gem. She's
Mhm.
also like 6 sizes smaller than me. And when I came back from Gen Con one year with pneumonia, I was sitting next to her like this on the plane. She loaned me her sweater, which I'm sure I
Aw.
stretched out and she never could wear again. And I've never, ever forgotten that
Wait, so
kindness.
Sue saved your life,
Yeah.
saved your
She
project.
rescued me.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sue sounds
she's
pretty
mwah.
amazing. Now, is Sue still over at Wizards or did?
Nope.
Oh God.
Okay, good. I was going to say, please tell me she escaped.
Yeah.
You
She's
know, and
back in Wisconsin.
I remember, Chris, when I asked you about the Dragon Fist, and I said, "Hey, you should publish it. You should get that. You should do something like that." And because of the enthusiasm, and it might even have been because of David Bolak, if I'm recalling accurately. But is that something you would ever consider?
Oh well, so the last part of the story is that we
Oh
bought
yeah,
it
right.
from Wizards, so actually we own it, and
Hey.
we've intended to redo it for like 20 years at this point. But there have been various obstacles, so the way forward now would be as an age game.
Yeah.
But there are some things that need to fall into place for that to happen.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And that's understandable. And one of the things I love about our what we've done with ThursdAGE and Mutants Masterminds Monday is that we're able just to sort of look the fans in their eyes, so to speak, and say, relax, like these are things that are happening. And so there are ideas that are percolating, but there's so many ideas in that line but I want to ask this question with the understanding that this isn't any kind of a commitment or any sort of anything, but people in chat, would you pick up Dragon Fist if it was something we developed into an age game? Put a me or a yes or a yay in chat if that's something that you'll do. We'll give them a minute for that. We are on a bit of a delay because we do have potty mouths. I don't even know if I wanted to bleep something, I'm not even sure how I'd do it. We don't really have a dump button. But Stanek says Sue is also a major force in 3PP as one of the primary people behind, is that Mal Havoc?
Havoc,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Very cool.
For sure.
Oh, here come the yeses. Absolutely. So, okay. So here is a question. Oh, I see what happened here. Temp changed names here, and I'm like, Temp. Temp is two people right now. Temp is asking, how is the 5th season role playing game similar or different to the other age RPGs? Good question.
Do you want to take it, Nick, or shall
You should.
Okay. Well,
I can logistics that book here when it's done printing, if that's what you want.
Oh yeah, logistics it in half.
Well, so it's licensed from N.K. Jemison's Broken Earth trilogy, and Nora, the author, she was like, "Well, I can't really believe anyone wants to spend time in this world, but hey, if they do, I'm all for it." So it's a fairly grim setting because it's basically like humanity has angered Father Earth, and who basically spends his time trying to kill them with various natural disasters, which are called seasons. And so the entire structure of people's lives is surviving and being prepared for the next season, because you don't know if it's going to like rain frogs or a volcano is going to explode.
Is it volcano season? Oh, yeah. I was prepared for hurricane season.
Yeah.
Or those flippin' boil bugs. I mean, come on. That is like they're nice until the 5th season, and then they turn into basically just make you into a soup.
Yeah.
Grody.
So to survive in that world, people had to work together, which I know is a strange concept here in America in 2023. But imagine the communities came together for the greater good.
Yeah,
Um,
interesting.
and so people live in what are called comms, which are communities, and there are assigned roles within the comms. And so, what makes this different than other RPGs is that when you get together to play, the first thing that you do as a group is to create a comm. And that's where your characters will be based out of. So there's a system in the game for how you do that. And you generate its recent history and basically a bunch of hooks. And then after that, you make your characters to fill different roles. So strong backs are like the people who fight to defend, and there's a bunch of different casts like that. And so instead of, I mean, you can certainly roam around, but you know a lot, it's not like a murder hobo sort of game in general.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Yeah.
It's more focused on serving your community and surviving the next 5th season, which is going to happen in your campaign at some point. So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Duke,
it's different but cool.
Duke says it is cool. Duke says working together in this economy. Yeah. David says everything would be just fine if they stop eating avocado toast. Yeah. And that's just the boil bugs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, well, there you go. Hopefully, Temp, that gives you the details you were looking for. Feel free to ask for clarifications in chat. Okay, so we've touched on 5th season. Do we want to? We did talk about Valiant, which is very exciting, but that's not necessarily age. What are some other things? What are we missing? I feel like we're missing something big.
Cthulhu Awakens.
Hey, that's pretty big.
How can you forget Cthulhu?
How could you ever? And I know that there was a question about, hey, I love the Cthulhu mythos. I love I love our approach to it as it relates to the kind of the way that we're telling the story. And of course we've had Malcolm on several times to kind of talk a bit about it, but let's get into it a bit to sort of illuminate the unilluminated.
Yeah. Well, first of all credit to Malcolm, because this was his project, his conception, lead designer, developer. So it's him. But basically, there have been, of course, there's Call Cthulhu, which was the original role-playing game from Chaosium, which is still going strong. It's had 40 years, of various editions and supplements and famous campaigns and all this sort of stuff. And other companies have done Cthulhu-based RPGs that are essentially like a conversion of that game, and that's not what we wanted to do. We wanted to actually come up with our own version of the mythos with things that are different and new, working within that framework. And so, that's what's different about it. Like if you go into it and you're like, oh, everything I know from Call Cthulhu is the same in this game, that is not true.
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to the PDF getting out there so people can really see the scope of it. But Malcolm took he started with the modern age rules, which he was also the designer and developer on, and then customized them to do cosmic horror. So there's a whole new system in there. Well, it's a new iteration of a modern age system to deal with what happens when you encounter mythos creatures or sites.
Things that man was not meant to know.
Exactly.
Right.
So the approach we take is that in Lovecraft, what happens, like he calls it madness, but it's like dramatic madness. It's not mental illness. And so we use a system of distortions instead. And the idea is that when you encounter mythos stuff, like the more you encounter it, if you start to cast spells and learn magic and things like that, what you're doing is disconnecting yourself from the world and realigning your vision to that of the mythos, which just gives you a different perspective on everything, and leads to some problems with you, like being a human being, because you're just seeing things through an alien lens, and if you do too much of that, you just get lost in it.
I
um,
love that. I love it.
yeah,
The thing I like the best is the idea that you've got your weird century.
yeah.
So you can have well, and here again, I'm the one who's like, now I can play an adventure that's based on that song "Show Goths Away" by Darkest of the Hillside Thickets. Like that's where I'm getting my inspiration from. But because it's not set in you know the very specific time period that the classic Call of Cthulhu type games are set. I think that is another one of its strengths.
Yeah, so it covers what is called the weird century, which is basically the 1920s to now, and so you can do games in any of that period. There's also the possibilities of like time travel and other things, but yeah, it's not just about like you're in the 1920s, like the Lovecraft stories. It You have that whole period to work with. So, we have an adventure coming up that's set during World War II.
Right.
I
Yeah.
wonder who
For
wrote that
example,
one.
I didn't. I came up with the basic story, but it was Howard Ingham who
Oh,
actually
that's right.
wrote it.
Howard did take it on.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Howard.
yeah.
Uh,
I
I'm
I
trying
created
don't
to
mean to diminish your
Yeah, I
input.
created the framework and provided the history, but then Howard, who is an expert in folk horror, he brought the folk horror to the adventure, tied it to a historical thing. Actually, it's really cool. So that's
really, really
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
What I love about the Cthulhu Awakens is it's got sort of an intensity and a drama and a depth, and the mystery and magic of it all is great. Cosmic horror is so much fun. We're doing a part 2 of our live stream here fairly soon. But yeah, so and I dropped the link in chat so folks want to come check out Cthulhu Awakens
Yeah, if you just the
RPG.com.
Kickstarter, there's the pre-orders are still up, I think.
You
yes.
sure are right here. I love dread crawls. Well, I mean, it's such a. I know that Malcolm's digging deep into the '90s experience, pulling forth the zine, but I love it. I just think it's
Well,
brilliant.
yeah, for those who don't know, one of the things we did starting as a stretch goal was some zines to go with the game, called Dread Crawls. And so um, there's three of them. Uh, there's an issue 0 that was basically for the Kickstarter.
Hmm.
But then there's two more issues which you'll be able to get. And it's, again, going back to my DIY roots. I'm well familiar with zine culture from the 80s and the
Me,
90s.
Dream of the dream
yes,
of the 90s is alive in zines.
that's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I,
it's great.
yeah.
Who didn't have a zine in the in the '80s, '90s?
I have an unpublished zine that I wrote. Actually, I got college credit for it. It was like an independent study sort of thing, that I have considered just, crowdfunding on my own as like the zine that time forgot.
Right. I mean, they were huge. They were just massive. Podcasts, I guess, are the zines
They
of our
really
modern
are.
era. Yeah, yeah. So there is a question right now, and one of the things that we know very well is that things are ready when they're ready, and oftentimes we can't really commit to a date, and folks know that. But Hydra does ask, do we have any idea when the pre-orders will start shipping the physical copies of Fantasy Age and Cthulhu Awakens for non-backers?
Well, so all right, Fantasy Age didn't have a crowdfunder,
Yeah.
so the pre-orders will ship immediately. We're expecting that back from print end of June, early July, so right around then. And then,
Summertime.
yeah,
Mhm.
summertime. Cthulhu is going to be a couple months after that. It's a little bit in flux because we're looking at a new printer
Mm.
who could do the job in 2 months instead of 4, which would obviously be great for everybody.
Yeah.
So
That's where
we're
logistics gets in
yeah.
and tries to
Make it
get
happen.
get 5 core books and reprints and stuff that are all coming in at the same time done
Per-
simultaneously.
perform miracles.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like
Uh,
we haven't had a core rule book since The Expanse in 2018. And the way just things have gone over quarantine and with all sorts of other headaches, now this year we're going to have 3. So Fantasy Age
Yeah.
will come out first, then Cthulhu Awakens, and then 5th season in the fall.
that's right. We're gonna make it rain core rule books.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's gonna
It's a lot.
A lot.
hurt. Yeah.
Um,
Awesome. So there is, hey, I want to just address this real fast. So folks are curious, of course, as they are wont to be about the ORC license, and we're figuring all that stuff out. We just don't have a lot to share outside of the. I want to caution people from being too harsh and too critical. These are folks trying to do a good thing and to do right by the community, and we're just gonna soldier on and we'll provide updates when we can. But we do have the Age Creators Alliance.
we do.
Yeah, and go ahead, Nicole. Did you want to say something? Or
Oh, I saw Duke asking if there's going to be a Cthulhu PDF, and there will be. There will be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll come first. Yeah.
It's mostly done. I think Hal is magnificent with making our books look really nice, but he reaches a point where he's got to fiddle with this and he's got to put a little gilded edge on that, and he
Mhm.
just cannot let anyone see it until it's like
Yeah.
that. And we're at that stage, so it'll only be a little while.
So it's a good
Can't see
sign.
any white space.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
As
Yeah.
someone who meticulously moved around a bunch of electricity on both of your names today, I can
Yeah.
sympathize and relate. And Hydrara, thank you for asking the question. Everybody is very excited about it, and that's what this whole thing is about. Us getting up here and
Just
answering the questions we can. Go for it.
just briefly on the orc license, like it's not even finished. Like, I've
Yeah.
read the first draft, but it's not even done. So,
Yeah.
we're not
We
going to
can't really
make
make
any
any
decisions
decisions.
until we
Yeah.
can actually see the final thing. So,
Absolutely. Well, so go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yes, we do have the Age Creators Alliance, which is something we launched a couple years ago, which it's a community content program like the Dungeon Masters Guild, that lets people publish adventures and settings. Currently for Fantasy Age and Modern Age, but we're adding Blue Rose and Cthulhu Awakens to that. So you'll have lots of options if you want to start publishing your own age material.
That's right. And part of that, too, is an updated bit of information for the license that sort of expands some places and clarifies some things. And here's what the process is right now. We've got people who are signing up, and I will drop that link. I had it open, then I closed it reflexively. If you are interested in sort of getting an early look at stuff, to sort of say, hey, yeah, great, which we anticipate you will, or else. Then at that point, we just kind of start working with our partners over at Drive-Thru RPG, update all the details, and then welcome a whole bunch of new people who are excited about things like Blue Rose and Blue Rose and Cthulhu Awakens. That's right. Yeah. So yeah, and there's already some stuff for sale over at Drive-Thru RPG, and I'll drop that link as well. But it's a great program. It's going to get better, and we're looking forward to sharing all the details with you.
Yeah, David, there's some that we changed around, like what you're looking for there. Different amounts of and types of content that's been changed to open it up a little further.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we talked about some of that on our program, on this very program 2 weeks ago. So you can check that out as well. And of course, we love to repeat ourselves, so we can answer any questions potentially. Let's see, what are other substantive changes? We'll I'm gonna refer you to the show, but David, if it's something that you're very interested in, I invite you to come be a part of that group. That I'm going to send you the form in chat. And so, folks who are listening on demand, when you're on YouTube, you're going to want to check out the live chat tab because that's really where it's happening. Lots of lively chat and chatter and links, of course. This is as good a time as any to say, hey, friends, you are listening over on Twitch, or maybe you're watching on Twitter. I mean, who knows? Maybe not. I wouldn't recommend it. But you're over on Facebook, or you are on the YouTubes. Here's what we want you to do. Make sure that you're subscribed. Give this program a like. Like, look for the thumb, look for the star, look for whatever that little exchange, and give it all to us. And then share this live stream or this on demand stream with a friend. Send it to your mom and say, "Look, mother, this is what I've been doing. These are the
Just open it, Mom. Just open it.
Open it, watch it. These are the caliber of people that I get to hang out with every single Thursday, 2 p.m. Pacific. We hang out. We talk about age. We talk about game dev. We talk about, of course, just how much we love and hang out with our fans and enjoy this time. And I look at the clock every stinking time. I'm like, okay, good. Well, now we can talk about. Oh no, it's 3. We were a little late, and so we might.
Yeah, I don't mind keeping going because we did start late. So.
We did indeed. So another hour it is. Welcome to hour 2.
I have an appointment at 3:30.
Nicole's like suddenly like, oh no.
I have to do this at the staff meetings too. I have to be like,
yeah.
You do.
I love you guys, and we're great, but we're done talking about Transformers now, and on to the or whatever it is.
We are, and we're going to thank you, Dwayne, so much for continuing to try. I do appreciate everybody who's kind of repeating the questions. It's very helpful to us. But Dwayne says, looking to the future, could Chris and Nicole please comment on Green Ronin's overall plan for the future of age games and adventures on VTTs?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a dedicated team working on VTT stuff led by Jonesy. And
our own Jonesy live in chat now.
Live in chat. Actually, Dwayne, what's funny is Jonesy has answered a couple of your questions, so you might have missed it as chat swung by, but definitely the source. Yeah.
One of the major challenges for us is that we've released a lot of stuff over the years, we want to adapt some of the older things, but we also want new things to have VTT support. So it's just a lot, and it doesn't help that there's a new VTT every month or something like that.
Truth.
And, some group of people are always like, when are you going to come to such and such? And it's like,
I will say, as the person who is trying to decide what to direct Jonesy to work on, I have to say we were getting requests for Astral support, and then now there's no Astral. So just because our team is so small, we really just have to kind of narrow our focus more than some folks, I think.
And honestly, the VTT space, they're still figuring all this stuff out. There's still so many changes happening on Roll 20.
And stuff are changes.
But I will say that's just because people ask every single time, and so we are kind of we are obligated to say Foundry's on the way. It's being actively worked on, and your favorite thing will make it. Might not be tomorrow, but it's coming. Promise.
Yes.
So we've Mutants and Masterminds has been on Fantasy Grounds for a long time. Something 6 or more years. Jonesy's been working a lot on Roll20 stuff. Basically, because the age games all share some DNA, once we have one compendium and character sheet, all complete, it makes it then much easier to adapt to other games. So that is the heroic work that
that's right.
Jonesy's been doing.
And we are doing we are dropping some token packs, and
Hmm.
I think Jundi's really wants to get some map packs. He's always
Mm-hmm.
asking for map stuff, which again is just a resource management issue. And man, I hate these resource management games. My least fun
DNA.
game to play.
Could never even get her to try Settlers of Catan.
I played number 7. You rolled the robber. You're
Yeah,
screwed. Isn't that Settlers of
that
Catan?
is Settlers of
My
All
Catan.
right, there you
cabbages,
go.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. David said, asking dumbly, was that form link? No, you're not asking dumbly. You're asking, well, I guess my nickname could be dumbly, but
That's your
yeah,
new
no,
middle name,
those-
Bartholomew Dumbly Hewitt.
dumbly of the Washington Dumleys. Yeah, I will get that link and make sure that we do that before we sign out. I found it. So
Yay.
easy. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about other future things. There's 3 of us here, Jonesy. But looking to the future of what we're kind of what do we see? What's ahead? Like what's going on? We got some summer plans. We've got like we're gonna be at some conventions. What else is going on? Nicole, you want to take a
Next, we're going to be at Origins in June. We'll have some people there running some games. Alex will be joining us there. Jonesy, I think, is joining us there. And then Chris and I will be there. Bringing somebody else in. I feel like we are, but oh my gosh.
is it Ian?
Oh, right. Ian is bringing himself,
Yeah.
but he's with us because Ian also has his Nepethine press. Is that
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nepethine?
they're doing
That's
his Gothic horror game Nevermore.
Yep. So he's doing some split time for his own thing and then also for us. And there's a big bar on 2, Smarty Pants. And after that we'll be at Gen Con with the full team, minus a couple of people who don't travel because of health concerns or the occasional I have a conflict, but usually it's more health concerns.
For me, it's I'll have a concussion. I'm sure. No, I'm gonna be there. I'm looking forward to it. I go ahead.
I think we're going to hope to do some stuff for the live for the online portions of these
We
conventions.
sure are. Yeah. We will. Of course, we'll have games that we'll be running, and that's going to happen. But we'll be doing some live streams as part of the Gen Con TV thing. And I heard a rumor that I can't really get into it, but that there will be some manner of it's gonna be. It'll be interesting.
My.
I know. Good country gravy.
He's been threatening to squatch Gen Con for a while now.
I'm gonna squatch it. That just feels so good to say. I'm gonna squatch. I'm gonna squatch y'all.
Crystal, help.
I really, I'm going to talk with Crystal and ask if she minds if we use the no gravy because I think
It's
about
so
it
good.
all the time. So funny.
Yeah, me too. I love our team so much.
Rain, I'd like to explain gravy squash to you, but
Rain, no, you know who Gravy Squatch is, don't you?
it's
Rain's
a running
in the
gag on Mutants and Masterminds Monday.
Yeah, I think Rain's afraid of what is to come.
Yes,
The gravying.
the future gravy apocalypse.
Oh, I like that. I like it. I am trying to decide what kind of gravy does constitute a gravy squatch. I'm thinking a country gravy, kind of a pepper sausage kind of experience.
Red eye gravy.
Now, what is red eye gravy? Is that like
it's made with coffee?
All right. I like the sound of that. I like the color of it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very.
I mean, not just
very
coffee.
Yeah.
I dig it. Yeah. Someone suggested the thin brown gravy that you use, and I was just like, oh no, that doesn't sound good. I don't like it. But Chris, were you going to say something?
I'm sorry,
I was going to
Stan.
say, product wise, we've also got a bunch of stuff coming up because, essentially during the quarantine times and after, we weren't publishing a ton, but we were working on a ton of things.
Hmm.
So, this year is when we're really getting back into the swing. And so, we've just got a lot of things that we've been working on for a long
Yeah.
time that are going to start dropping.
And I know
Plenty to
our
come.
poor Debs have been so patient with us.
Yeah.
We've just had this backup. I mean, I think Ian's been ahead 2 books on
Mm.
The
on
Expanse.
The Expanse for 2 years now. Yeah, so I'm really happy that we've cleared the logjam and we're able to kind of calibrate ourselves to a more normal game publishing existence.
Yeah, the stars are aligning, all the hard work's paying off, and again, this summer is going to be amazing. And so
Lit.
it's going to be lit. It's going to be it's going to be just a gravy-tastic. No, that's not going to work. It'll be a grave.
Flaming gravy.
Yeah, I keep saying good granny's gravy, but I don't like that either.
Yeah.
We'll workshop that. So it's 3:09. I
Yeah,
think
I gotta
we've
go.
kind of paid our penance, and when we start getting into gravy talk, this could take another 3-4 hours. Hey, friends in chat, I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. Folks who are watching on demand, you have just skyrocketed our views. Our watch time is increasing. I want to thank you for that Granny Gravy Squatch. What is this? Some kind of Christmas Star Wars special? Do a whole Gravy Kong family. Okay. Oh, all right. The Canadians might have an idea here, but we will cease the Gravy Squatch talk and already on the Gravy Squatch merch. David, you better believe. Hey, Chris. Hey, Nicole. Thanks for hanging out. We have such fun on ThursdAGE, and it's just a blast to be able to do this. And I
It was
love.
fun to be on this side with all the regulars instead of dropping my smart ass comments in the comments.
It was great to have you on this side of things, and we should talk about kind of doing these again, just sort of get together and sort of have this. The two of my favorite human beings, TTRPG luminaries, just good pals and great cheese aficionados, and all of those things. Anything. So how about this real quick, Nicole, what have you got? Is there a place that people can go to see you, get to know more of you? Do you have a Cash App? No, I'm kidding. Like where can people find you?
My Instagram is public, and I pretty much stick to posting pictures of my adorable snooty dog.
So cute.
Posting pictures from my volunteer work with Seattle Arts and Lectures, which I find really exciting and stimulating. If you like to read, it's lots of authors and so forth. I do that, and the occasional selfie, or hey, look, I organized my towel cupboard.
It's actually very
If that's
inspirational.
what you want to know, that's where you find me.
Also, great food.
It looks great, by the way.
It looks phenomenal, but it's the food that gets me. Always such good food. And then every once in a while, a picture of a couple nerds in some city somewhere under a sign that says "losers." Was that what it said?
Yeah. We went to Nashville. Yep. Found the losers bar and said,
That is
"Hey."
absolutely. Hey, give us your what's your Instagram?
I don't know how they do that. I have to look it up every time.
Is it Nick?
I am Nick Chick, maybe.
Let's see here.
Sorry.
I am.
Once I have the app up, I just poke it and.
And because it's so appy, spell Nick Chick for me.
NIKCHI.
That's what it is. Okay. We'll drop that link here in a bit. Awesome. And then, Chris, how about you? Where can folks find you? What should they be looking for? What should they avoid?
Yeah. So I'm on Twitter, at least for now. It's turning into a flaming shithole, but I'm at Pramas over there. You can also find me on Facebook. I post about a range of things, games, politics, other stuff. So
food, yeah.
I've never split off, like I don't have like a Chris Pramas author thing that's different than my personal thing. It's just all me. So
and you're really engaging. You're having conversations. You're talking about the day's events.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff is great. And you will find him at the link that I will drop here shortly. I think with that, I think
Stay
we're done,
connected
friends.
long enough for the link, and then gotta go.
That's right. Yeah.
Got another
All right,
meeting.
friends. Thank you so much, friends. Take care to you, Chris, and you, Nicole. And I do think a quarterly thing is something that we ought to do. And we should
Sure.
look into that. All right. Awesome.
Thank
All right,
you,
everybody.
Troy.
Hey, you're very welcome.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody. Goodbye.